This is Male Rights Activist Podcast, episode 116, where we focus on relationships, sports, and pop culture from a man's point of view. First of all, we want to thank our listeners, our new ones, our OGs. Thank you for hanging with the fellas.
What up?
On today's show, Ice Cube pisses a lot of people off.
Well, he is the nigga you love to hate.
He sure is. Cardi B's fans are mad that she took Offset back.
Party gang, if you want to keep it from Offset, y'all piece up and y'all buy her a Rolls Royce.
Exactly. Amber Rose says her living boyfriend has sex with her without her consent. That's a touchy one, no pun intended, but we're going to give you our point of view, all that and more. Right now. This is the MRA podcast with Kyle and Kamal, where men come to talk and women come to eavesdrop. I am Kyle.
I am Kamal.
And we're saving relationships one listener at a time. It's time for the front page, man. Kamal, first of all, man, you said you had some bad news, man. What happened, dog?
Man, you know, I was bored today, and I do this from time to time. Not on no creepy shit. Let me preface that.
Get that clear. Yes, please.
But I do like a Google search, like former students, just to see if you know.
What makes you do that?
I have no idea. Well, a couple of them have passed. Some of them have gone to jail and stuff like that. So I always like my ones who I think were headed down that wrong path. I'll do a Google search and hopefully I'll catch them on Facebook and see good things. But my instincts were correct on this one, man. I found out that she passed, a student I was looking up today, a couple years ago. Yeah, and it was one of those things where just something hit me. It was like I was thinking about her and her sister because I saw them maybe like 15 years ago, and they didn't really look well.
Yeah.
And they were at a donut shop, and they were coming on to me and all of that, and I was like, this is really... And it was like apparent that they were really trying to like use me as a sugar daddy, like... You know, and it was like, oh my, this is sad, man. Like you guys need help. And and her and her sister were always together. And I looked up and she died. And you know, they give the details. It's like some man, her and her sister hopped off a bus, and some man just pulled up and started shooting and killed my student.
Strange.
And you know, you read more, and it was like the man used to date the sister.
Oh wow. Well. So let's condolences to her and her family. Let's try to pivot into a current event. When I texted you the thing that they said that Ice Cube was working with the Republicans, you were like, man, this can't be real. And this was last week. And so, this was one of those things that happened after we dropped. So you were like, this can't be real. So then I sent you his actual tweet. And this is my take on it, man. My take on it is that Ice Cube has the contract with Black America. He presented it to both parties. The Democrats said, we'll look at it after election, which I was offended by because in my opinion, that was like, oh, well, we already got the black vote. And the Republicans said, we'll look at it now. So the Republicans already had a platinum plan for Black America, and they looked at Cube's plan. It was like, well, look, you want to talk to us about, our amendment, our plan, and we will, we'll take some of your ideas, and are you cool with that? They may or not have already had a plan, but that's what they claim. And then they leaked out that Ice Cube was working with them, which to me, I don't know if that sounds like, it doesn't sound to me like Ice Cube's working with them. It sounds like they said, we saw your document and do you want to talk to us about it? He talks to them about it anyway. The point is, it comes out that he's working with them, and now he is in the Kanye bag of, all the memes got him as his sellout. They got him as wearing the MAGA hat. And I just like, man, are y'all serious right now? People were furious now. We're both Ice Cube fans. Kamal, how did you feel about it?
Man, let me tell you something. Ice Cube is my favorite rapper. He is my favorite hip-hop artist of all time.
Mine. Yeah, definitely up there, top 3 for me, but go ahead.
I am a huge Ice Cube fan, and I hope to one day work with this man.
Okay, but?
I'm not riding with him on this one, man. I'm not riding with him, and so I gave him the benefit of the doubt, man. Like you said, he was like, I offered it to both parties. The Trump people are the ones that, they reached out to me. Biden people saying, we'll get back to you after the election, which I understand because they're not in power, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we can't do nothing with this. But the Trump people, he says, they worked with them. And so during some interviews, they said, where did you get this plan from? And that set off the alarms for me. He said he was working with ADOS, which is like some group, African descendants of slaves. And they are about reparations and all of that stuff. And it's pretty much a group of black people that look down on immigrants. You know, they look down on immigrants. And because they look down on immigrants, which candidate might appeal to them? Right?
Trump.
Right.
Yeah, because Trump looks down on immigrants.
Right. And so the ADOS, the founders, they're Trump people. But they don't want to say that because they don't want you to know that they're Trump people, the founders. So what they do is they just shit on Democrats. So they have a lot of people who just shit on Democrats. They don't really big up Trump as much, but the goal is to make sure Trump's reelected. And so if you listen to what Cube says when they, all these interviews, when they take a shot at Trump, he says both sides, right? They bring a Biden, he goes in on Biden and the Democrats. But every time they mention Trump, he says, well, both sides are, both sides. So it's like, man, Cube, you're a Trump supporter. If he's not a Trump supporter, he's definitely doing Trump's bidding. Not his bidding. I don't want to disrespect the man, but he's doing the work for the Trump people by taking votes away from Biden. Hey man, if you vote for us, cool. But if you just don't vote for Biden, even better. Our people gonna vote. That's the Trump people's philosophy. So I think that, man, Cube. I don't know if Cube knows these people are Trump people, but they are. And it's like Eric Trump, Donald Trump's son, today tweeted out a picture of him and 50, because I guess 50 said he's supporting Trump because of the taxes and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Did you see Ice Cube's reaction to that?
Right. So I don't think Cube wants to be
Well, let's just tell the people, what did Ice Cube react to Eric Trump's tweet?
Nigga, please.
Exactly.
And I don't think he wants to be associated with Trump. So he's not like Kanye, but my thing is, you can't claim to be neutral if you're only attacking one side.
I like that.
You can't claim. I mean, you really can't. And honestly, man, if Biden wins, hey man, no problem, Q. We have a difference of opinion.
Well, but he's mad at Biden and them because I'll give Ice Cube that. You said you don't have to be empowered to make a promise. I mean, you don't have to. You can't make the promise if you're empowered, but you don't have to be empowered to make a promise. You could say, all right, listen. The thing is, my big beef with the Democratic Party is they don't seem to. They feel like they already have the black vote. Even when Biden said, if you vote for Trump, you're not black. I don't like that attitude that they feel like they got us already. It's like if a woman did something to get you, then all of a sudden when she got you, she stopped doing it. I feel like the Democrats, even though I'm going to say I am voting for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, you notice I put her first. I am voting for them. I am voting for them, but I am still disappointed that it doesn't feel like they are trying to get the black vote by making promises. I want them to make promises and then keep them. But don't do vague ass, we want to help people of color. Nah, nigga. No, I need black people to be treated like a group. Just like you would treat gay people, or you would treat handicapped people, you would treat Jews. I want to be treated like a group, and I want y'all to look out for this group, because too many times you've said, hey, man, we gave you Obama. Like, nah, nigga, you might have gave me Obama, but now I need you to make some promises and deliver.
Let me explain why I disagree with that, and I understand where you're coming from. The problem with that is, as far as giving things to black people, like you said they would do things for Jews, or you say handicapped people, they're not giving them extra stuff. They're giving them rights. What they do with the gays, they let them get married. They're giving them the same rights that you and I have, right? They didn't give them extra stuff. They didn't say if you're gay, you get an extra $1,000. They didn't give them any extra shit. They just gave them the bare minimum, right? That all Americans should have.
To try to level the playing field.
Right.
Well, the playing field level.
My point is, you can't come up with policies designed specifically for a group of people that's unconstitutional. And so, yes, Trump can promise it, knowing damn well he's not going to deliver it. And the thing about the Cube's plan is a lot of it is unconstitutional. And so the thing it's just you can't do it. You can't single out a group of people and say you guys are gonna get this. And so the Biden people know that stuff, man. But they've worked with Congressional Black Caucus. They've worked with other people. Ice Cube is working with pretty much a black nationalist organization, and their thing is we want for black people, which I really think is some snobby, sedity, uppity black people shit. What's your background? Oh, my grandparents came from Honduras. Oh, fuck you. You're not one of us. Like, wait a second, man. If that's the case, Farrakhan's not one of us. Marcus Garvey's not one of us. You know what I'm saying?
Barack Obama's not one of us.
Barack Obama's not one of us. I'm saying they don't like them. I'm saying, but they respect.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm talking about the people whose parents were not descendants of slaves. Barack Obama, Kamala Harris.
I'm saying the people
I like.
The people they hold in high esteem. Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, I feel you.
Farrakhan. These people, according to ADOS, they're not one of us, which I think is bullshit. Because guess what? At the end of the day, cops gonna beat whoever looks like us. Doesn't matter if your great-great-grandfather picked cotton or not. You're getting your ass kicked. You're getting mistreated. So I think it's honestly, man, it's just some old. I think they're racist, man. Like, and it's like, not they don't like white people. They don't like other minorities. They're pro-wall. You know, it's like, wow.
Yeah, so that's where you gotta look into that, man, because that's a whole nother can of worms that we ain't got time to get into today, because we could do an hour on that alone, and we got some more shit to talk about. When we come back, man, we got some feedback, and after that, we got a post-nut mode story from a guy who risked it all to hook up with a girl he met at the grocery store. How did it end up? Yes, we're getting back to the silliness. We'll find out soon. It's the MRA Podcast. Hey, what's up, guys? I sure hope you're enjoying the show. If you like it, I invite you to go to our website, themrapodcast.com, and catch up on over 100 episodes that we have in store for you.
You ain't working, you might as well check us out.
And if you want some more, go over to The World According to Cheryl and check me out on Cheryl Underwood's podcast. We post content there every single day. We have her normal radio show labeled SUR, and then the Cheryl Underwood podcast, where we get in her personal business every Friday. Then on the weekends, we have the specialty shows that range from Late Night Cupcake into Auntie Cheryl's House Party to our gospel show, Spiritual Nourishment.
You gotta check out The World According to Cheryl, even though I ain't on it.
We got some feedback, Hobie.
Do we now?
Yeah, man. This was from my sister. She said Naya Rivera would be telling what family thought. Similarly, reminded me of Hunter Biden. So I guess she's saying she would be very curious what family thought about the Naya Rivera's ex-husband living with her sister, because Hunter Biden dating or messing with Beau Biden's wife after he died. Can't remember all the details surrounding, but I think they aren't together no more. I don't think they are together either. No one really discussed it much, but they bonded over grief for sure. That was a very good point to my sister. We also got feedback from my boy C. Bizzle, Chris Ball from Ball Family Farms. He heard the show. He heard the shout out. He laughed his ass off at Kamal's reaction to his class. He said, y'all niggas are hilarious. When Kamal said, what the fudge? He said, Kamal said, I've never been more jealous of a human in my life. He laughed. He said, y'all niggas. I love y'all niggas, man. Appreciate the shout out on the show. Oh, by the way, Kamal, do you have anything to say about that?
First of all, that's just not funny. I'm literally really jealous of the fact that this man has what I want.
Amen.
Nah, man, the Hunter Biden stuff, I don't really know. I knew about it back in the day. I heard about it. Like, yeah, man, he linked up with Beau, his brother Beau's ex-wife. I don't know if they're still together, man, but
I don't think so.
Hey, man, yeah, grief is way out, man. You know, hey, man.
Yeah.
What about Junebug? I only got.
What about Junebug? My Junebug?
Nah, man. Like, from
Junebug Spade?
Junebug Spade. I only doing Junebug to get closer to you.
Junebug Spade.
Hey, it happens, man. Happening. I'm gonna get you, sucker.
When we come back, man, we have a post-nut story from a guy who risked it all to hook up with the girl he met at the grocery store. How did that end up? We'll tell you next. It's the MRA Podcast. According to Webster's dictionary, being in post-nut mode is when you have a clear mind and you can make sound decisions as if you just busted a nut.
Yeah, I don't know if Webster actually said that.
Nah, he didn't. But our listener Big Easy Q told us all about it and we can relate. Women, men, so listen. If you have a story of when you did something foolish.
In pre-nut mode?
Yeah, something really dumb. Maybe it was top grime. Especially something in pre-nut mode you don't want nobody to know about. Hit us up and we'll tell the world. We can all laugh at your expense and hopefully you'll learn from your mistakes.
Aristotle once said, the results of pre-nut mode is the best teacher. I think he said some shit like that.
Send us your stories at dearirby@themrapodcast.com. That's dearirby@themrapodcast.com. And now it's time for a post-nut mode story, only on the MRA Podcast. This is from Kareem in Riverside. He said, I saw this woman at the grocery store. And she was staring at me like I was famous. So I go over and talk to her in the produce section. I was like, do I know you? She said, no, but you look like my ex. I said, was he cool? She said, no, he talked a good game, but he wasn't even packing. Sorry to hear that, brother. I told her she wouldn't have that problem with me. I said, I don't talk, I show, and I ain't small. I couldn't believe how fast we was going there, but we went there. She said, don't talk if you can't back it up. I said, come through. She said, when? I said, right now. I didn't expect her to call my bluff, but she said, text me your address, and I'll be over after I get my groceries. I put my number in her phone and then ran out the store to clean up my apartment. I didn't even buy nothing. Crazy part is my girl was supposed to come over in an hour, so I called her, but she didn't answer. Now that I look back, all I had to do was tell this grocery store girl to come by another day. I couldn't risk her thinking that I was all talk, so I let fate handle it. I don't know about that idea, buddy. Plus, I didn't have her number. She only had mine. She came over about 10 minutes after I got there, and we went at it. She had these really big lips in both places, okay, and I kissed them both, all right. I beat that thing up, and all I wanted was to hear that I was better than her ex, and she gave me my props. All right, he got what he wanted. This must have been my lucky day because I didn't even have to kick her out. She was in a rush to get her groceries home. She texted me a few times, but soon we lost touch. I didn't even lock her number in, so I couldn't even find her if I tried. My girl came over right as I was getting out the shower. I admit that shit was dumb, and I would never do it again, but my girlfriend never found out. That's Kareem in Riverside. Kamal, this guy was living on the edge, man. I'm guessing you wouldn't do something this crazy. You would not.
No, but I always salute the perfect crime. Always gotta salute the perfect crime, man. Here's the thing about it, man. It was spontaneous. Definitely wasn't thinking. He was being reckless. He was being wild.
Yes.
But hey, man, he pulled it off. It's like when the coach has some crazy trick, not Hail Mary, but some flea flicker or some double reverse. And it's like it's a dumbass play or a fake punt. But when it works,
it's not gonna work twice.
But when it works, it's like
when it works,
genius.
it works.
Yeah.
Remember that Oklahoma-Idaho game where the reverse pass, this craziness, and the dude proposed to his girlfriend after that? It's just, you just never know, man. So as you called it the perfect crime, man. Every once in a while, the stars have aligned. I don't mean you got to do that. That don't mean that should be your offense going forward.
No.
You know, don't do it again. But every once in a while, you get lucky. You get away with it, man. Quit while you're ahead. If you get away with murder, do not go robbing somebody for your goods in Vegas because it will come back to you. When we come back, Offset officially got his girl back. Cardi's fans are pissed about it. We'll tell you why. It's the MRA Podcast. Hey guys, if you're digging the show, then please tell somebody. People might say something to you like, hey man, you know, what podcast you listening to? And that's when you say the MRA Podcast with Kyle and Kamal.
Or the MRA Podcast with Kamal and Kyle.
Kamal, we called it. Offset got his girl back. Cardi confirmed that after Offset set it off for her on her birthday weekend, she took him back. But why? She said, quote, I just be starting to miss him. It's hard to not talk to your best friend. It's really hard to not talk to your best friend. And it's really hard to not have no dick. Okay. She also admitted that the gifts helped too. She said, I do like material things. She said, what do you want me to do? This nigga gave me a Rolls Royce and I snub him. And I really wanted some dick for my birthday. Cardi got so much smoke from her followers on Twitter for taking Offset back that she actually deleted her profile this week. Kamal, how do you feel about Cardi B taking back Offset?
Well, like I said, man, we talked about it last week. We knew this day was coming just because the man was relentless. He's shown that he will not stop until he gets his lady back, and he succeeded. Now, as far as like the fans, Cardi has to understand this thing, man. Fans, they think they know you. And so it's like you become so famous and they're so they follow you so much that you're a part of their family. And so the roller coaster ride. So when you break up with them, the fans broke up with them.
Yeah.
We done with him. Were you back? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we back with this dude. Broke up with him. Cool. You back again? It's like, man, the fans don't feel like going through the roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? So I would say this. If you're done with him again, stay done or keep that shit private. Because the fans feel like they know. Now, they don't know shit about you, Cardi. They don't know about her relationship. They don't really know. But they think they know through social media and little, shout outs you give them on Instagram and stuff like that. So they're living vicariously through you. And when you go through some shit, they go through some shit. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, because they don't know the intricacies of your relationship.
Exactly.
They don't understand why you took the man back. I know why.
Why did she take him back?
Because that's her best friend. And whatever it is that he provides, nobody else has ever given that to her. Whatever it is. Damn. Whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you got somebody on the basketball team, like, man, why they got this guy? And it's like, dude, he's our bruiser. He does what nobody else will. Okay. It's like certain coaches always got a player that follows them around. You know what I'm saying? No matter what team they coaching for, they got that same player with them. It's like, why does he keep this bum around? Like, oh, you don't know. Doesn't matter. I know, and that's why I got him. Cardi B is like, dude, Offset, whatever talent that he has, whether he makes her laugh, whether he's, fly, whatever it is he does, that's what she wants. And nobody else is able to provide that.
Kamal, let me tell the fellas something. Let me try to give you some inspiration, fellas. Your competition is weak as fuck. They just are, man. We're gonna talk about this Amber Rose story pretty soon, and it's deep, it's touchy, no pun intended. Man, dudes, really, your competition, you don't have no competition, man. You think you love a woman? Raise your value and let her know how you feel. And put it down in the sheets. Don't take it down. Offset, let me tell you something about Cardi B. Cardi B says she needed some. She needed to get some. Offset is so lucky that he has a girl that really likes sex. Some women love sex, which is so weird because physically speaking, scientifically speaking, women actually get more pleasure out of sex than men. But for some reason, so many women just have been, in my opinion, conditioned by men to not be sexual. Because what it is we tried to, I say we as men, they tried years ago to stop women from being as sexual as they were so that they couldn't get away. And in doing that, they created this prude standard that isn't realistic. And so some women are, for whatever reason, they're not inhibited by the sexual defense that we put on them years ago, that men put on them years ago. So Offset, he is hitting it right. He's providing. He's a father to his daughter. When he bought his wife a Rolls Royce, he bought his daughter an $8,000 Rolls Royce seat. He's checking all these boxes. So do you think he has other women on the side? I absolutely think he has other women on the side. But you can get away with that, fellas, if you check these other boxes. You guys aren't providing like Offset. You guys aren't crawling back like Offset. It's just because Offset has money. No. Offset has money and he hits it right. Offset has money and he crawls back. Offset has money and he's her best friend. That means he listens to all that shit she wants to talk about. Honestly, what the fuck do you think a best friend does? You know what I mean? They listen to her complaint. Offset really loves this woman and he shows it in the way that she needs. Fellas, if you do that, You will not be, the competition is weak. You will not be step two. When we come back, Dr. Dre accuses his wife of embezzlement, and she claps back with her own 128-page document, something like that, a whole lot of numbers. Later in the show, we got to talk about Amber Rose saying that she had sex without consent. And later after that, we got a Dear Irby. You got to stay tuned. It's the MRA Podcast. Hey guys and gals, if you're enjoying the show, let someone know. Whatever app you're listening on, please subscribe, give us 5 stars, and leave a positive comment.
And why wouldn't you give us 5 stars and a positive comment? We're great.
Yes, we are. This helps our placement so that other people can enjoy the show as well.
And why wouldn't they? We're great.
Kamal, seems like every week we have a Dr. Dre update. Dr. Dre and his wife are getting divorced. And now I'm going to be honest with you, man. I haven't been a big fan of Nicole Young and this whole thing. But according to the Daily Mail, she kind of clapped back with a document that's like 100 and some pages. And for the first time, I started seeing her perspective. And that's what happens when you get cross-examined. Because from her perspective, she's saying, look, man, this guy has connections in the media. He has the empathy of the media. People know him. They don't know me. They're painting me as a gold digger. And her defense is, I stayed 24 years. We have 2 kids. Maybe she's a stepmom to one. I don't know, because they said 3 kids. I thought it was 2. And she's saying that, like, I have put up with his marital misconduct. Now, come on. This is an MRA podcast. We roll with the dudes, but we know what marital misconduct probably means. Mm-hmm. She's painting Dr. Dre as a bully. But the problem I'm having with it, Kamal, is she's saying, I'm not a gold digger. In her mind, she is entitled to co-ownership of Dr. Dre's name. Oh, that makes me cringe. She says she should have the rights to the album, co-rights to the Chronic album. Oh, that makes me cringe. You didn't lay down one beat, but you think that just kills me. And then she claims that someone in her crew, she's talking about his little strategy, because she was recently accused of embezzling over $300,000. And she's saying, man, my name was on that account. Stop saying I'm an embezzlement. But I'm like, yo, why are you taking out $300,000 if it ain't about the money? Come on, what say you, dog?
I think there's some truth to what she's saying about him having connections.
Of course.
I watched this little mini series, or it was a series. It was Dear John. Have you heard of it?
Back in the day?
No, not that one.
Okay.
Good John.
Sitcom?
Good John. It was something like that. Man, it was Christian Slater and Amanda Peet. And this was based on a real life story, man. And so you had this couple who the wife, they got married like when they were in undergrad. Mm-hmm. And the wife worked. And she's from money. And she worked while this guy went to medical school. Mm-hmm. And he was pumping her with kids. You know what I'm saying? And they were struggling. They were on food stamps and all of that. And then after he gets out of medical school, he decides he wants to go to law school. Mm. So she works and helps put this man through law school. Mm-hmm. And he becomes big-time lawyer. Mm-hmm. Big-time lawyer. But he told her he didn't want her working and all that stuff, man. She actually mentioned, she made a joke about to some friends about being on food stamps. When they walked away, he was like, hey, man, don't bring that shit up again, man. Like, go out, be a part of the country clubs. Matter of fact, be a part of 2 country clubs. I don't even want to know. I don't want people to know we was ever broke. I want us to live this lifestyle. Cut to like 20 years later, he has an affair and runs off with his girl, his secretary, and leaves her. Mm. And basically, because he's a lawyer, he knows all the lawyers. He knows the judges. He kind of like paints her out to be this gold digger, and he knows the law. He knows when he's supposed to put the house in the market. He knows all of this shit. Ended up leaving this chick with not what she was supposed to get. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And she looked bad, and all her friends, because her friends were married to his friends, they chose him and all of that. So one day, man, she snapped and she ended up killing the dude, turned the kids against her and everything. Mm-hmm. Long story short, yes, this can happen, especially when the guy or whoever is in charge, whoever has the money, has a high-priced lawyer, and that lawyer is going to tell you, this is what you do. Yeah. Here's how you protect your money. Do this, and this. So he does have the megaphone. He's Dr. Dre. He's the guy we know. He's the guy we respect. He's the guy we going to trust in this. However.
Come on.
whatever. I do think that it is about the money. I do think she's playing the game too when she talks about him being abusive, and she's being really, really cute with that because she's not saying he put tips on her, but she's using abuse.
She's using them keywords.
She's using keywords because we know about Dr. Dre's past.
Yeah.
And so she's using these code words, bully, abusive. I deal with this, and I deal with the extramarital, with the extra chicks or whatever like that. And honestly, it's like, because we know Dre's past, we know all of these things about it. She claimed
she was beat into submission by leaking a oh my god!
Yeah, it was a code word. Yeah, so basically,
that's so.
These are below the belt tactics. I'm not saying Dre is totally above the belt either.
Yeah, Dre's kicking below the belt too.
Yeah, and so I just, in one of these things, man, it's like, dude, stop making this shit public, because honestly, it's going to make us pick a side. It's going to make us pick Dre, and we're going to call you out your name, which is probably foul, and we shouldn't.
Absolutely foul.
You know what I'm saying? Like all Dre's.
We haven't heard both sides.
When all Dre's associates are calling her B words and all that stuff and having to apologize, it's like, dude, keep this shit out the public, man. Both sides, man, because honestly, we're going to choose Dre because of Let Me Ride.
Which is why Dre would put it in the public. You know what I mean? So I understand. Yeah, of course. He's trying to protect his money. Let's say he did do the old trickery with the prenup. If you don't know, go back to previous episodes when we talked about it. Basically, she says that he ripped up the prenup, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get all up into that. But just say, all right, I'm going to say it. She claims he ripped up the prenup, but then he's claiming that the prenup is there. Now, the prenup is kind of turning into Barack Obama's birth certificate. Because now she's like, let me see the prenup. Do you still got it? You claim you got it? Let me see a copy of it. So I'm hoping Dre really has a copy of that prenup come out. But the point is, she's claiming he's doing all kinds of trickery, and it sounds like he's doing trickery. And you know what? I still don't think she deserves half his name. If she wasn't there brainstorming the name for the name, you don't deserve half of that name.
No, he was Dr. Dre when he met her. How did you get half of a name? How do you get half of something that you didn't create?
But that's what I'm saying. You're trying to paint me as a gold digger. Well, you're doing gold digger shit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do gold digger shit, and you won't be painted.
Yeah, put the pick down.
Exactly. First, put the goddamn shovel down. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to make me as a money grabber. Like, nah, well, stop doing money grabbing shit.
Drop the money.
That's number one. Yeah, drop the money. And Dr. Dre is going to, I believe Dr. Dre is going to pay her. Now, I just will say about that story earlier where the woman killed that man. That is like the Chris Rock joke when he talks about the only time it's acceptable to call a black man the N-word. It is the perfect scenario of, okay, that dude, that was foul. I don't think it was foul that he cheated on his wife, because I can understand the fact that needing something else on the side. What I think was foul was trying to leave your wife and trying to not make sure she's paid when she literally did. She is the reason why you were a lawyer, dog. She is the reason why. There's a difference between I watched the kids or I paid all the bills so that you can go to medical school and I paid for your medical school.
Oh, yeah, she watched the kids. She was home. I mean, the way the story portrayed it.
Not only did it
was like she's at home with all the kids, and he's working. So it's not like he was, fucking around. He was a damn good lawyer, damn successful lawyer.
She paid for it.
Right.
She paid for it.
She's the reason why he was able to do all of that. And she stopped her ambition because she was in school too. She stopped all of that to be with this man. And then,
that's an example of you deserve half.
Right.
Because he did the work in medical school and you can't take that away. But you're the reason why. But don't tell me you're the reason why because you babysat the kids. No. Tell me you're the reason why because you paid for medical school. Oh, yes, you are the reason why. Oh, I watch the kids so you can go to school. Okay, we'll pay you a babysitting fee. Don't tell me you deserve half because you watch the kids. Tell me you deserve half because you pay for the school. You damn right you deserve half. Tell me you deserve half because you sat there and sketched out. You came up with 10 names and you picked Dr. Dre because he wanted to go a lawyer Dre. He was like, no, Dr. Dre is the one.
Freshy Dre is some shit, some lame. Freshy Dre ain't gonna work. Dre Freeze. That ain't gonna work.
His idea. His idea was Dre Freeze. Your idea was Dr. Dre. Oh yeah, you definitely deserve some money for the name. You made up the damn name, but that's not the case.
Yeah, Dr. Dre is a play on Dr. J, who was his favorite basketball player.
Exactly.
Unless that was your favorite basketball player. You ever see the War of the Roses, man? When they were breaking up and they were arguing before they actually broke up. She was like, she wanted the house, and he was like, I want the house, and she was like, Like, I put everything, I decorate this house, every square foot of this house. He was like, with my money.
Exactly.
You did this shit.
Exactly. Okay, don't tell me about what you decorated with my money. What are you talking about? But that's the delusion I'm talking about. So, I'm glad we got some clarity on Dr. Dre's wife, man. We're getting a little bit more empathy for her. But hey, ladies, you don't want to be a gold digger, don't do anything gold diggerish. When we come back, we're going to talk about Taraji and her dude breaking up. And then after that, we got to talk about this very touchy subject of Amber Rose saying her boyfriend had sex with her without consent. Oosh. Strap up for that one. It's the MRA Podcast. You listen to us, but Kamal and I want you to know that we listen to you too.
Even if we don't always respond to your tweets in a timely manner.
I love how you say we, man. So if you have some feedback, maybe you agree.
Maybe you disagree.
Or maybe you just want to tell us how much you love the show, or that you want to testify with how we specifically helped you out. Or maybe you just want to tell Kamal how he was right or wrong.
But mostly right.
Whatever you want to tell us, hit us on our social. I'm at Kyle Irby.
I'm at Angry Kamal.
Hit us up and you just might hear your comment on the air.
Promise. We'll be gentle.
Kamal, Taraji and her man are done. They got engaged. She was on the Breakfast Club and she said that she tried to suggest counseling and they weren't on the same page. And she ultimately said, my happiness is not his responsibility and his happiness is not my responsibility. Do you agree with that philosophy?
Hell no. Not at all. Honestly, man, this is a partnership. And so it's not just basically, this isn't like an acquaintance. You do you, I do me. It's like, no, man, part of your happiness is my responsibility. Now, sometimes what makes you happy is unreasonable. I can't, I can't do what you want me to do for you to be happy. But I think it is part of my responsibility to make my partner happy and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, then what do we have? What are we doing? If I can just go out and do my thing and make myself happy and come home and be miserable, and when I'm miserable, you can't do shit to make me feel better, why am I even here? I think it's my responsibility. All my responsibility? No, of course not.
Well, you know what, Kamal? I believe it's none of my responsibility. It is zero. Your happiness is your problem. My happiness is mine. And let me tell you why, my dude. Now, that sounds very cold. And I'm just going to be honest, man. If a woman says something like that, she would sound selfish. And I would be like, oof, don't do it, fellas. But as a man, I say men and women should adopt that situation. Now, I did say if a woman did it, she'd sound selfish. And I agree. It does sound selfish because it is. I believe that your happiness in a relationship with me, young lady, is your job. I get up early, Kamal, and the first thing I do is work on my happiness. I go through gratitude. I get my mind right. I meditate. I pray. I go through Thanksgiving. I make my requests. I work on my happiness hard. I've been in situations in relationships, Kamal, where I worked on my happiness and they did not. And then when I came in contact with them, they drained all of my happiness away. Or I've had situations where I didn't work on my happiness and they didn't work on theirs. Or actually, I've had situations where they worked on their happiness. They were bubbly and I was the dark cloud. Matter of fact, my sister used to call me the dark cloud. And I was walking around miserable, just draining happiness around in the house. And that's not her fault. It's mine. I believe that I need to work on me being happy. And then you need to work on you being happy. And then together we can be two happy individuals. You need to bust your ass to get your mind right so you're not happy. Now, if we're both happy, here's what I hate about the premise that your happiness is my job. Because then she's just going to keep saying, well, I'm not happy unless you do this. So now I got to marry her. Because she ain't happy, I got to marry her. Now I got to move in. I don't want to move in. But she's not happy, so now I got to move in. Now I got to go to shopping with her to, I'm about to say Zodi's. That's so old school West Coast.
Zodi's.
Zodi's. What the hell did that come from? Now I got to go clothing shopping with her because she can use it. She can use it at any time. And I don't believe in that, Kamal. You should be up to me. That's not if we should organically want the same thing. So let's just say we find out that organically we don't like the same things. That's when we grow apart. I think she should cook for me because she loves to cook. I don't want her to cook for me because she hates to cook. I love food is my love language. Food is very important to me. And I want to be with the type of woman who would have been making something whether I was there or not. Not, oh God, this guy always wants me to cook. No. She was about to cook something delicious either way. And since I'm there and she's happy and I'm happy, she wants to share it. It's not a chore. When we come back, Amber Rose says her live-in boyfriend had sex without her consent. And later on, we have a Dear Irby letter from a woman who may have met the perfect guy. Is it too good to be true? Find out soon. It's the MRA Podcast. Guys, I have a comedy album. It's called Be a Man at All Times, and it's on, what's it on? Oh, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you stream your content.
It's a damn good comedy album.
I appreciate that, man. There's stand-up on there. Kamal and I wrote a whodunit mystery called The Case of the Missing Balls. That's on there.
Based on a true story.
Check out the album. Show your boy some support. And you can buy it on iTunes. Keyword buy it. Stop streaming. Kamal, Amber Rose was on the red table, the original one with Jada, because there's a new one coming with Gloria Estefan and her family.
What?
I'd be mad if I'd be so mad if I was Jada, like, it's our show.
Damn.
But yeah,
they don't own
Facebook
it. Facebook
owns it. Yeah, what'd you say?
So they don't own it, huh?
No, Facebook owns it, so they could put out it's being successful, so I'm sure they're thinking, well, let's do a Latino one and let's do that. Red Table sounds like Jada's show, but unfortunately, they don't own it. That's what happens when you sell your idea.
That's what I was listening to an interview with Cube just today. He was talking about rappers going like independent, or you know, if you do something for a major studio, they put all that money up, they own your masters. Whereas like you do the shit yourself, it just depends if you're not gonna get the promotion that the major label provides. Exactly. So Jada could have put this stuff out on YouTube, I guess. But she probably wouldn't have the platform that she gets for Facebook or the promotion. Definitely not the promotion.
Even if it was her idea, you know what I mean? They sold it. She sold the idea. Now they own it. So they could do whatever they want to do with it. Mm-hmm. And that's how that works. You're not going to get the promotion. You're not going to get the platform. Shouts out to Tyler Perry, who owns all his shit. He built his thing.
Because they came to him.
Yeah, he built it himself. He built it himself in something he owned, and he built it so tight that they can't. And he was patient enough to wait until they came to him, and he did it on his terms. So anyway, Amber Rose is on the red table. She said she was with the man for over 2 years, or 2 years, whatever. And she told him she was ready to leave. And when she said she was ready to leave, he got mad. He ripped her clothes, had sex with her. She said she felt gross about it, but it was as if he felt nothing about it because he went downstairs and had breakfast. I wish I would have watched the whole interview, because I don't want to say I wish. I could have. I chose not to. I chose to do other things. But, I can't say motherfuckers, but I just couldn't. Don't make no excuses. I could have watched the whole interview. It wasn't a priority to me. So based on what I saw, because when you watch the whole thing, then you can have more empathy, or you can really understand what they're saying. When you just watch a clip, it could be taken out of context. Like when my mom called me out for taking the Bible out of context. She was like, yeah, you talk about what women must submit, but you don't also talk about the part that men have to submit their life to Christ. So she's submitting to you, he submits to Christ. So yes, talk about the whole thing, not just a soundbite. But I'm just going to talk about this soundbite, because from what my understanding was, she felt gross. Now, if I watched more of it, I might have learned that she said no or not, because I don't know if she said no. I got to be careful, because I don't want to. This is the MRA podcast. This is where we defend dudes, but I'm just trying to give the dude's perspective of how he could go downstairs and think it was nothing, because he might have thought it was cool. He might have been on some soap opera shit when they fighting and passionately, no girl, you're not leaving me. Come here, grab her face, kiss her. No, yes. And then they go on and they end up having sex. He might have really thought it was cool. It wasn't. I'm not saying it was. I'm saying he might have thought it was cool. And so we have to be very clear. I'm not saying she said no. I don't know if she said no. I just know she didn't say that she said no. I only saw a clip. Maybe she talked about the no part and the parts I didn't see. But if she did not say no, and if she did not make it very clear that the note was like, I ain't giggling no. I mean, no. I'm not saying no while I take off my drawers. I'm saying no when I'm stopping and I'm walking out the door. If she was clear and he still did it, I can't see how he would think that was cool. What do you say?
I know some people don't think it's a crime to like rape your wife.
Yes, I've heard that.
I've heard that too. I've heard. I think Trump was accused. I think not Marla Maples, but the first one. Ivana Trump or something like that, accused him of rape. You can't rape your wife. And
actually,
so
you can.
Yeah, exactly. But so maybe this person thought the same thing. Like, dude, I want it.
This is me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. And here's the thing about it. It was a while back, man. Not a while back. Recently, I used to think that if a woman didn't not cry rape. I don't want to sound insensitive or dismissive, but if she didn't report this as a rape and treat it as a real rape, then I sometimes questioned it. You know, but here's the crazy thing about it. Even when they do say it's rape immediately afterwards, like Kobe's accuser, I still question that, right?
Yeah.
So and here's the thing about it, man, and it was coming from a strictly apex predator standpoint, right? A lion don't really care about the plight of a zebra. I want to hear that complaining and stuff like that. So I just didn't, because I don't ever have to worry about getting raped as a male.
Yes.
You know, I've never been in the position. I've worried about getting shot, worried about getting beat by the police, worried about getting beat up and, jacked. I've never, nothing's never crossed my mind like, damn, I might be raped.
Yes.
And so I just really had to sit with some women one day, man. My wife, she has some ladies over, and they would have a little exhale session. And, I told them, I was really honest. I don't understand. We were talking about the Bill Cosby thing. I just don't understand it. I'm not saying that it's all bullshit, but for me, it's hard for me to understand somebody working for somebody who just talk shit to them and they're powerless. I don't understand that. And the same thing in relationships. And they all said this, and it was it wasn't a revelation. It wasn't something that they had a secret. They were just so cavalier about it that not every woman, but they would say a lot of women say yes to avoid getting raped. They're not down with it. My girl told me, she's like, man, she's been with a guy and was like, dude, if I don't say yes, this man is going to rape me. And
that's hard for me to relate to, because I would never.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would
take the no. I would take the no for an answer, but
absolutely.
But they and the thing about it is, when my girls said it, they all said, "Oh yeah." It wasn't like, "Yes, you too."
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, this is, of course, baseline.
It was matter of factly "Oh yeah, of course, this happens." They'll say yes because if they say no, this like Offset. I gave that story about the Wire. This man is proven he's going to keep
relentless.
He's going to keep coming back. I'm not saying Offset didn't. I'm not comparing the two. But I'm just
you're
saying,
talking about being relentless.
Right.
If they're being relentless about getting sex, they're going to stop. But the problem is, as a man, why are we being punished because you didn't know how to speak your mind?
Well, no, they're saying no, or they're pushing you off. Not you.
So in that case, yes, if they're saying no and they're pushing off and he is continuing to start and they just give it to him to save, then I understand that. And by the literal, they literally said no. So yes, this dude, you're rapey.
Well, no, I'm saying in his mind, after she said yes,
he
walked away and was like, dude, it was consensual and I didn't rape that woman. She was into it, or she let me. And she was like,
or she was wet.
Right. And she's like, dude. And I didn't get it until my girl broke it down for me. She's like, dude, I had to. Or it would have been a crime scene.
In her mind, she thought she had to. Whether she had to or not, in her mind, she thought she had to. Right. She had already said no. You were not listening.
She did not want to do this at all.
No.
And so my point is, going back to Amber Rose and his ex-boyfriend, she probably didn't make a big deal about it because in her mind it was like, I'll just go ahead and let's get this over with because he's gonna do it. I don't want to be screaming and clawing his face because it seems to be, if I don't, this could be a criminal matter.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, I'm glad we're talking about this, man, because, fellas, we got to do better, man. No means no, man. You got to let that go. When we come back, we have a Dear Irby letter from a woman who may have met the perfect guy. Is it too good to be true? Kamal and I will break it down. It's the MRA Podcast. Hey guys, what's up? If you're enjoying this show, do us a favor and donate to our Patreon.
Word.
Just go to www.patreon.com. That's Patreon.com and make a donation to the MRA Podcast of Kyle and Kamal.
Word.
It's that simple. Listen to the show, love the show, share the show, break the show off with some dough.
Bars.
Let's get into this Dear Irby letter.
Let us.
Dear Irby, I met a guy online. He's a lawyer. He's so cute that I thought he was a bot. First, we did the whole video chat thing, and that at least let me know he was real. He was so nice. I was just hoping when I finally met him that it wasn't a rude awakening. When we finally met in person, he was amazing. He brought me these really pretty roses. He knows they are my favorite. He also knew it was my birthday last week, so he bought me this little tiny miniature Louis bag, the kind you would give to a doll. It was so cute. He said he didn't want to overdo it since we just met, but the thought alone blew me away. We had a romantic dinner outside near a fireplace at this restaurant I love, and after the date, he came over and we had the best sex I've ever had. I was starting to think all guys were selfish lovers who only care about getting theirs, but this guy put it on me in the bedroom, and I was so thankful. Finally, he spent the night, then made me breakfast. I've never been so happy in my life like this before. I know I just met this man, but I'm so in love. Is it too much to ask to keep this feeling forever? Do you and Kamal think it's too good to be true? This is from Deneen in Columbus. Kamal, is this too good to be true?
Kyle, crackheads say the first time they use crack is the greatest feeling ever, and everything after that, they're chasing that first high. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Deneen she just got her first taste of crack. And I'm going to say yes, this is too good to be true. Now, this feeling that she's having, Deneen, you're never getting that again. You're never getting that again because it was perfect. This man has to bat 1,000 for the rest of his life for you to keep this. So that's never going to happen. It was a perfect time, perfect date, perfect everything. He had the right amount of stamina. You know what I'm saying? He had everything going for him. You know, he had time in the morning to make you breakfast because maybe, you know, his job wasn't, you know, he had a late meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
But you cannot expect you cannot expect this to be your new normal. It's not going to happen. Now, this was A+. It was an A+ service, right? However, you can get B service and still be happy. It just depends on your expectations. You know, if you are going to temper your expectations, that was the greatest night ever. You know, and I know it can't happen again. Now, if it gets close to that, appreciate it. But don't expect it. The first date that me and my ex-wife went on, I had a ball, Kyle.
Wow. Talk about an arc.
I had a ball. This was like the best date I had been on. She was, she was so funny to me. We drove past some black Israelites. And I was like, I dare you to say the white man is the God. Kyle, she rolled down that window. Oh, shit, she's about to do it. I put the gas on.
Hilarious.
Oh, my God, she was really about to do that shit.
She's fun and hilarious.
Dude, yes. She's down for whatever.
Didn't know she just did give a fuck.
Right. I never saw that woman the day I married her. Was with her for like another 5 years. I never saw that woman again. I never saw that woman a day in my life. You know? And so my point is, Deneen, you can have happiness. You can have a life with this man. But temper the expectations. You know, it's like when I play fantasy football and you pick up a guy off the waiver wire and he has because he had 50 points. He's like this guy Claypool had 4 touchdowns last week and everybody picked him up. You can't expect that man to give you 4 touchdowns every week.
Mm-hmm.
The stars aligned. He was a backup. The guy in front of him was out. The other guy was, Juju was double teamed. Deontay Johnson was out. The stars aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Deontay Johnson's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
This guy Claypool was not going to get all those looks. He's not going for 4 touchdowns every game.
Mm-hmm.
He can still be a nice player for you, and you can be happy with him, but temper your expectations, Deneen.
I got you, man. We come back, I'm going to weigh in. Yo, what's up? I'm Kyle.
And I'm Kamal.
And you're listening to the MRA podcast where men come to talk and women come to eavesdrop. Kamal, the Raiders signed Larry Brown after he got 3 interceptions.
In the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't go well at all. They threw all kinds of money at him, Kamal. That didn't go well at all. My concern with this letter was that we were going to be too curmudgeon. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word when you cynical? Mm-hmm. My concern when I saw this letter is we're going to be cynical, curmudgeon dudes. That's what I thought was going to happen. And I don't want to sound like that. I don't want to sound like that, man, because matter of fact, this letter is similar to a post that my friend, I'm going to say it's public, Jessica Wellington made on Facebook. And that's funny. When I saw this letter, I thought about her. She said, is it too much to ask to have this feeling for her? Something like that, almost like word for word. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I just saw this. And a lot of people are like, oh, yes, girl, you can. Somebody said savor it, which I approved. I said approved of, and that's what I really meant. But a lot of people were like, yeah, girl, it's okay to feel this feeling forever. You can do it. It's possible. And when somebody said it wasn't, they were deemed a hater. I just think this is delusional to think that you're going to get that out of Larry Brown because he had one good game. This guy is in trouble because she is going to expect this type of performance. He had a great night, as you said, Kamal, and she's so happy. But that's not what a long-term relationship is, and that's the problem. Y'all start saying, well, it's not doing it for me anymore. If you're talking about getting married, which she's not, but if she is, that's not what a marriage is. A marriage isn't about being this happy all the time. It's like, Kamal, you and I have bonded over comedy, but if I expected you to make me bust up laughing every time we got together, that's delusional. I stopped hanging out with Kamal because, man, he wasn't as funny this time. That's ridiculous. Today's a prime example. Emotionally, I could tell something was up with you, man. Because, by the way, how did the shoot go? Because one of your students had passed away. By the way, how did the shoot go that you fired me off of? How did it go?
We needed you, man. It was
it happens, man. I'm still fine. I still have no COVID. But listen, you want to have a bullshit. You want to be afraid of COVID while I'm over here COVID free and have a bullshit production. Look, that's your choice. I only wanted to acknowledge it on the show because we talked about me, the thing. We'll talk about that in subsequent weeks because I'm just happy to come out. It was Pops, right?
Yeah.
He finally did Pops, man. Let's give him a round of applause. So, hey, man, you finally shot something. We'll talk about that another time. But, man, that is dope. But my point is, man, ma'am, I'm happy that you found somebody you like, but I need you to downplay that. I need you to get your Bill Belichick on, man. Coaches say as a DB, you got to have a short memory. If you just got a pick six and ran it back for a touchdown, that's great. Forget about that. Let's get for the next play. I'm not saying he can't be the one. I'm not saying it might not be true love. But what I am saying is you have to just dismiss that great date, give him a point, and come back and get ready to play the next play.
One thing about like my first date with my ex-wife, you know what I'm saying? I damn near fell in love with her. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this woman's that cool.
Yes.
I didn't see her in an emergency situation. I didn't see her when the chips were down. I didn't see her when things were going bad, when it's a rocky ship.
You better see that first.
You got to see when things are not as smooth. You got to see how the captain performs when the shit's rocky.
Come on, dog. So you seen him on a great day. Good. Score him a win. Now, a bad day's coming. How's he on a bad day? That's what you need to know. And not just, is he still, let's just for the analogy, funny on a bad day? Can you guys survive the day he's not funny on a bad day? That's how you know about your relationship, when it's tested. After it's tested, holler at us then. You need some advice in your relationship
and can't afford a therapist?
Yeah. Hit us up and we'll get you through this.
We won't even charge you a copay.
Exactly. The Dear Irby letter is our longest standing segment on the MRA, dating all the way back to the webisodes. This is where we truly save relationships one listener at a time. We've saved marriages,
encouraged divorce,
taught a guy how to please his woman,
encouraged divorce.
Yeah, so hit us up for advice and we'll help you out. Send your emails to dearirby@themrapodcast.com. That is dearirby@themrapodcast.com. Where can we find you?
Twitter and Instagram at Angry Kamal.
I am at Kyle Irby, KYLEERBY. The MRA Podcast. You can find us at the MRA Podcast if you want to, give us a comment, let us know how you feel about the show. Hit us there. You can also hit us at dearirby@themrapodcast.com. You can also listen to us at dynastyradiony.com. Our show comes on there every Wednesday night, I think at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us live there. You can listen to every one of our 116 episodes at themrapodcast.com, and kyleirby.com is where you can see a lot of the commercials I've done, some comedy videos and all that stuff. Ladies, we love you. Fellas, be a man at all times.
Deuces.
MR.